This is the gentle hour. Firelight at dusk. You pause in the hallway. The house is quiet. You take a slow breath in through your nose. The air is cool and still. You let it leave your lungs slowly. Outside, the evening has begun to settle. The light through the small window beside the door has shifted from pale to a deeper, softer grey. Dusk is arriving slowly. You reach for the handle of the living room door. The brass is cool beneath your fingers. You press it down gently. The latch releases with a soft click. You push the door open. The silent living room greets you. Faint blue light spills through the tall windows at the far side of the room. The garden beyond them is slowly darkening. Shapes of hedges and trees soften into silhouettes. You step inside. The wooden floorboards give a quiet creak beneath your weight. You close the door behind you. The air in the room is cool, not cold, but still carrying the slight chill that comes when the sun leaves the sky. You stand still for a moment. You breathe in slowly through your nose. The room has a faint scent of sweet orange and cedarwood. You walk towards the reed diffuser that sits on the sideboard. You pluck 2 of the sticks out and spin them around in the container. The fragrance intensifies immediately. It smells warm and familiar. You move toward the fireplace. The hearth is wide and built from thick stone. Inside, the fire from the previous night has long faded. Only pale ash remains. You crouch slowly beside the hearth. The iron fire grate sits slightly forward. You reach for the small brush and shovel resting beside it. The brush handle is smooth from years of use. You sweep gently. Ash gathers into a small pile with a soft scraping sound. You guide it carefully into the shovel. The metal edge slides across the stone. The sound is quiet and deliberate. You carry the ash to the small metal bucket beside the fireplace. You tip the shovel. The ash falls inside with a soft hush. A faint grey cloud rises briefly before settling again. You return the brush and shovel to their place. The fireplace is ready. You reach for the basket of logs beside the hearth. The wicker basket is heavy and sturdy. Inside are split logs of birch and ash. You lift one piece. It feels solid and cool in your hands. The bark is rough beneath your fingertips. You trace your fingers over the ridges. You place it carefully inside the grate. then another, and one more. You arrange them slowly, leaving small spaces between them so the air can move. You reach into the basket again, this time for the kindling. Thin sticks of pale wood rattle softly together. You break a few shorter pieces between your hands. The wood snaps easily. You lay the kindling beneath the logs, a small nest of thin sticks. You reach into the small wooden box beside the hearth. Inside sits a bundle of firelighters. You take one and place it beneath the kindling. For a moment you sit back on your heels. You look at the small structure you have built. Logs above, kindling below. You stand slowly. Your knees straighten. The room feels very still. Dusk has deepened. The windows are darker now. Only a faint band of soft blue remains in the sky. You walk to the mantelpiece. A small box of matches rests beside a glass candle holder. You lift the box. It rattles gently. You slide the drawer open. The matches lie inside, neatly aligned. You take one. The thin wooden stick feels light in your fingers. You close the box and crouch down again by the fireplace. You hold the match against the rough strip along the side of the box. You strike it. The sound is quick and dry. A small flame bursts into life at the tip. You hold it steady. The nostalgic scent fills the air. The flame glows warm and bright in the dim room. You bring it down toward the firelighter. The flame touches the edge. For a moment, nothing happens. A small orange glow appears. It spreads slowly along the edge. The flame catches. You withdraw the match and shake it gently. The flame goes out. A thin curl of smoke rises from the blackened tip. You drop the spent match into the fire. Inside the fireplace, the flame begins its quiet work. The firelighter burns softly. Small flames reach upward toward the kindling. The thin sticks begin to darken. Then one catches. A narrow flame climbs along its edge. Another piece follows. Soft crackling begins to fill the hearth. You watch for a moment. The fire grows gradually. Kindling snaps and curls as the heat builds. Small flames lick the bottom of the logs. You stare into the fire, watching as the flames lick over them. The bark begins to darken. The charring spreads slowly across the surface. You place the iron fire guard in front of the hearth. The metal frame settles into place with a soft tap against the stone. You stand again. The room now carries the first gentle warmth of the fire. You roll your shoulders once. They rise, then fall back down again. Your arms hang loosely by your sides. You turn toward the small side table beside the sofa. 3 candles rest there. Each sits in a heavy glass holder. You pick up the first candle. The glass is cool and smooth. You carry it to the mantelpiece. You set it down carefully. The base touches the wood with a soft, solid sound. You return for the second candle, then the third. They now sit spaced along the mantel. You open the matchbox again. Another match slides easily into your fingers. You strike it. The flame appears once more. Small, steady. You bring it to the first candle wick. A small flame blossoms at the tip. You move to the second candle, then the third. Each flame flickers briefly before settling. You shake out the match and drop it into the fire. Warm candlelight spreads across the walls. Soft golden light dances across the ceiling. Shadows shift gently with the movement of the flames. You step back. The room now feels alive. The fire crackles quietly. The candles glow along the mantel. Outside, dusk continues its slow arrival. You walk toward the window. The glass is cool beneath your fingertips. The garden beyond is now deep blue. A blackbird hops along the stone wall before disappearing into the hedge. The sky deepens slowly, blue fading toward night. The shapes of the trees soften even more in the fading light. You watch for a moment, then turn back toward the room. The sofa sits waiting beside the fireplace. A thick wool blanket rests along its back. You lift it. The wool is heavy and soft. You run your hands slowly across the surface. The fibers feel warm and slightly textured. You drape the blanket over the arm of the sofa, then reach for the small cushion. You press it once with your palm. It springs back slowly. You place it neatly in the corner of the sofa. The fire pops quietly behind the guard. One of the logs shifts slightly as the flames take hold. The scent of burning wood begins to fill the room. Warm, dry, comforting. You return to the fireplace. The flames are stronger now. They climb steadily around the logs. Golden light flickers across the stone hearth. You hold your hands out briefly. The heat touches your palms. You turn your hands slowly. First one side, then the other. The warmth spreads through your fingers. You lower your hands again. On the small tray beside the armchair sits a teapot and a cup. You lift the teapot. It is warm and full. You remove the lid, warmth spreading into your fingertips. A faint scent of chamomile rises gently into the air. Soft, floral. You replace the lid. You pour the tea slowly into the cup. The liquid flows in a thin amber stream. Steam curls upward. You place the teapot back down onto the tray. The cup feels warm beneath your fingers. You carry it carefully to the sofa. You sit down slowly. The cushions sink beneath your weight. You adjust slightly until you feel comfortable. You lift the blanket and pull it across your lap. The wool settles warmly over your legs. The fire continues its quiet crackling. You watch the flames for a moment. A thin stick begins to darken along its edge. The wood curls slowly as the heat takes hold. A small crack runs across the surface. A quiet pop follows. A ribbon of orange flame moves along the grain. The logs shift slightly as the fire settles into place. You remain there for a moment, watching, listening. The candles flicker softly along the mantel. The flames move gently. Small shadows drift across the ceiling. The glass holders glow softly. Each flame bends slightly as warm air rises through the room. You lift the cup. Steam brushes gently against your face. You take a slow sip. The tea is warm and soothing. You hold it in your mouth for a moment, then swallow. You lower the cup. The room is calm. The only sounds are the crackle of the fire and the dusk chorus of the birds outside. You take another sip. Outside, the last light fades from the sky. Night settles gently around the house. Inside, the fire burns steadily. The candles glow, and the living room grows warmer with each passing minute. Candlelight, firelight, a cozy moment. If this time felt grounding and you'd like more moments like it, you're welcome to follow along so it's here whenever you need it. And if this episode felt especially helpful, you can save it to return to the ritual whenever you like. Thank you for being here.